Welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm Dear Darling. Shall we see what's going on on our lovely little island of Fawnhollow today? I feel like, hold on, is my volume too loud? My volume is too loud by six lots. Hold on, what? Apparently my volume side has got Joy-Con drift or something going on as well. It just keeps going up and down. But luckily we're in a silent cutscene, so you can't hear what's going on except from my voice. Yeah, what should we talk about today? Oh, you know what I can talk about? I can talk about Sarah Z or something. She basically is someone who covers like news into like in-depth, well, not news, like into internet cultural phenomenon, not sort of news and that sort of thing, in very in-depth and long videos. But we'll get to that in a bit. Hello everyone, right, I'm Fawnhollow. It's 5:08 PM on Tuesday, August 3rd, 2021. It isn't the news speak of today, but as per usual, Isabel talking about something. Yeah, you might know, you might have seen some of her videos around. She's done stuff on Homestuck, Destiel, the supernatural thing. Probably things like these Tumblr, not Tumblr, sorry, internet fandom sort of things, which sometimes get out of hand and big events tend to happen. She covers them. You might say she's a bit long-winded with some of her videos. Guess what, dear? It's time for a riddle. What did the cake say while cutting an onion? I'm in tears. From Biscuit. That's not a riddle. That's a joke. What do you take me for? Yeah, you've probably seen her videos about, but certainly not for everyone. Okay, Flicker's our guest for today, I suppose. But certainly not for everybody, which is fair enough, because not everything's for everybody. I mean, that's just kind of the nature of things, isn't it? I've certainly seen some people say that she's a bit too long-winded with some of the videos and that sort of thing, but I find them entertaining to watch, and especially, as you know me, I like my background media. Second monitor media, things to put on the second monitor while I sort of just vibe out or do something else. Yeah, so she's very good, and she, a while back, if you don't know, Homestuck is an internet webcomic, excuse me, get out of this camera, which started way back when, maybe in like 2004 or something, and it's going to continue to present day, and there's been a load of weird stuff that's happening to it, and it's even surprising that stuff is still going on with it. And then in like a month or so ago, she made like a video about it, and then apparently she got like legal threats or something by some of her Homestuck team, and it was all this huge big kerfuffle, and she made another video about it, and I watched both the videos now because I've been meaning to get around to it, because it's something it's not like I'm involved in, but I used to follow the Homestuck fandom. Not the fandom, but the property, I suppose, way back when it was updating, and I saw the finale and all that sort of stuff. You might wonder when I started reading Homestuck. I think I started just before, like, in the pause between chapter 5 started, is when I started, more or less. And then when I started reading, chapter 5 got released as I was reading it. Sorry, Act 5, not chapter 5. But yeah, so I have, not like I have investment in it, but I just heard how much of an absolute mess the entire situation was. I really wanted to be like, I just wanted to know what was going on. So yeah, I watched Sarah Z's videos about the situation, and can I say, what an absolute mess the entire thing was. Her videos are fantastic, and as far as I'm concerned, she's basically sort of in the clear for most of the situation. But the legal response by the Homestuck team, and well, I'm not sure if I should say the Homestuck team, I can't remember, but what Pumpkin team, I suppose, and everything that went into that is just so very bizarre. I recommend you watch it if you have a time, but to be fair, you might not, because it's like 2 hours. Combined, it's like 2 hours or so long, and you know, not everyone's got that sort of time, which is completely fair. It's just, if I can recommend, put it on in your second monitor as you do something else. Like in my case, I was drawing last night, and I put it on, and then I was like, oh my gosh, it's 2 AM. But no, I wasn't drawing. Was I drawing? I can't remember what I was doing. I was doing something. I was probably playing a game or something. You got a new nickname for me? What is it? Fabu. Sure, why not? I guess I'll be Fabu for the next month or so. It is bizarre. I'm not even going to try and summarize things, because it's very difficult to summarize. But basically, well, okay, maybe I should try and summarize things. I'm not going to pretend my summaries are going to be even remotely accurate. But basically, she made an initial video about talking about Homestuck and that sort of thing, and then all the kerfuffle that went into it, because Homestuck has a huge history and kerfuffle and all that sort of stuff, and you might be like, isn't Homestuck just a webcomic? Because how much kerfuffle could there be? And you know, for a while it was just just a cool webcomic, but then, you know, they started branching out into like other media properties, tried to make a game and that sort of thing. There was a huge mess of a whole what's it called? What's that Homestuck game called? I should know, but I can't remember. And then like it got delayed and released, and there's a load of development drama and that sort of thing. And she's basically recounting her research into everything. And then What Pumpkin apparently didn't really like what was going on with that sort of thing. I think it was What Pumpkin. I can't really remember. So I'm just parroting, and don't take anything I say to be technically accurate, because I'm pretty sure I've forgotten a lot of the details. I just sort of remember the broad strokes of what happened, and sent her basically like a legal threat, wanting her to take down video, and she responds, in my opinion, quite, you know, reasonably, being like, okay, well, I mean, it was a sponsored video, so I'm gonna have to talk to my sponsor, and then if you could just like tell me what sort of things I got wrong in the video that you dislike or whatever, we can have a conversation about that sort of thing. But it just spirals completely out of control, involving the original creative. It's just, if you're into that sort of thing, you should probably watch it, because it's not like I'm particularly into these sort of dramatic, well, drama, I suppose, in the first place. But I ended up watching it because I find these sort of things fascinating, because I feel like I tend to distance myself, despite being not like involved with the fandoms and that sort of thing. I'm often interested in the same media properties of these sort of big fandoms that come about, but I very much distance myself from fandoms in the first place. I don't really participate. I'm much more of a lurker. I sort of see the surface levels of what's going on, but like I don't really care. in the most of it, and I suppose that's kind of parroted by my own social media presence. Even though I make all these videos all the time, that sort of thing, I reply to comments when I remember to, and that sort of thing. I'm not very active, as you can tell, on Twitter or Discord, or that sort of thing, and talking to people. It's just who I am. I'm just like I'm withdrawn into my own sort of world. I suppose is the best way to put it. So I don't tend to get super involved into communities and that sort of things. I'm very much a lurker at heart, and forever will be, perhaps. I'm not got anything wrong with that sort of thing. Like that, obviously, when people comment things, I should definitely remember to reply nice things and keep the conversation going, because it's a very nice gesture and that sort of thing. But sometimes I just don't think about it. Not in the sense that I'm like, oh, I don't want to talk to people, but it's just like, you know, I'm not involved in these sort of fan discussions. Like, for example, Homestuck, when people would like post threads about that something, discussing fan theories and that sort of things, like I'd read it, I'd peruse it for a little bit, and then, you know, and I'd close out of it and just go about my day after I've read the update. I'm not very involved in that sort of community thing, these community aspects, which you know, it's got its benefits and its curses, I suppose. I think on the downside, no, sorry, pros and cons, benefits and curses are a bit extreme, isn't it? The cons obviously being, you know, the communities and certain things can be great. You know, you have a strong unified sense of exactly, a strong bond, because everyone's unified by one particular thing. You can get a load of different opinions and viewpoints and that sort of thing about your favourite media property or whatever you might be in a fandom about, but often it's got cons as well, because, you know, sometimes a lot of drama gets brought up, and, you know, it can be quite stressful, especially to your mental health, depending on the community, depending on reaction, depending on your place in it, and that sort of thing. There's a lot of social juggling. I've already got my own in real life friends that I'd rather social juggle with. That's such a weird phrase. So I'm not particularly concerned about the ongoings, about, you know, drama within these sort of fandoms and communities. Sell fruits, customize. Okay, we'll customize, and then we'll go get some bugs for Flick. So yeah, I mean, it just kind of depends on the person you are. I suppose if you want to get involved in a community, you want people to talk about like your favourite thing with people, and by all means, go for it. For me, I'm not too fussed. But for things I like, I keep to myself. That's about it. It's just wild. Like, yeah, I mean, I'm not so much a fan of these drama, but yeah, that sort of thing. I'm interested in these sort of media properties, and I like people recounting the stories about what's going on in the community, because these are often people who have been very involved with it, or have seen it unfold themselves and that sort of thing, and if they have more spokespeople in the community, they can give much better accounts, obviously, to that sort of thing. So, wait, keep the more AU. Sorry, no, let me just think quickly about what I'm selling. Otherwise, I might make a mistake, and it's not really that big a deal, but still. It's always interesting to hear about what's been going on that I've been, like, not completely oblivious to, but not really paying much attention to in the first place, because it didn't really concern me. Oh, we need to sell one more coconut. Whoops. Apparently I didn't realise that was going on. Guess we'll buy some customization kits while we're here, if we've got the space for it, which we do. yeah, it's just sort of interesting to see what's going on. And the Homestuck thing, I kind of fell out of interest in Homestuck. When Act 7, like the end, quote quote, Homestuck dropped, it was like, that's it. Like the ending, I was like, it's okay. It's not like a knock it out of the park sort of ending, but it was beautifully animated, and I'm satiated enough with it. And then I just stopped following Homestuck because there was nothing else to follow. And then I know later on they had the game released, and they had like a Homestuck 2 revival. They had like epilogues. I never bothered with it. I never involved myself with it. Not because I couldn't be bothered, but like by that point I was just like uninterested. I didn't really care anymore about it. So I didn't really read it. But then I heard like things blew up because I hear about this Homestuck Squared project about that sort of thing. Whereas that it was very divisive, shall we say, very questionable choices. So I guess it was a good thing I wasn't following on. Otherwise, I'd be quite annoyed, perhaps, by the characterization choices that they seem to end up taking. But there's just so many random things, apparently, that I wasn't even aware of. Apparently, they made, like, a video on the YouTube, or the Homestuck YouTube channel, and they had, like, Dante Basco on, and they announced some, like, Homestuck's 2 Squared thing, which is meant to be, like, some community project where they'd be, like, posting, like, fan-made content and that sort of thing, and hopefully it was just, like, something for basically the entire community to come over, and then, like, nothing happened about it, and they just deleted the video. No idea if that was a thing, but apparently that was. But yeah, it was sort of like just nice getting. I'm not sure nice, but I'm not even sure amusing. It was just weird, I suppose, to learn about all these sort of insights coming from a community which you'd think I'd be involved in, but I essentially wasn't. I just, was there, I guess. I guess we don't need this robust cicada, so we can sell it. It was strange, is what I can really say. There's a lot of drama, a load of drama about it. Basically, the TLDRs, the people who are trying to cause some sort of legal action against Sarah Z didn't handle it in the most appropriate way. Sarah Z I would say she was mostly in the clear. I'd say there were some things that maybe she could have done better, but I think most of them are kind of excusable, or at least like not all that drastic. It's just like very strange. I would definitely recommend. I'm not sure if I'd recommend giving it a watch. It depends very much if you're into that sort of thing. But if you're into that sort of thing, you should probably give it a watch because it's absolutely crazy. These sort of like video essays, so they're very good at sort of summarizing what happens in a very entertaining way as well. It's sort of like these people like Down the Rabbit Hole, Internet Historian, all these sorts of people. I guess Sarah Zed's just another sort of one of them. And I always watch them with some sort of I'm not gonna say morbid curiosity because it's not morbid, but like perhaps just general curiosity in general. What are we doing? Commissioning a piece? That sounds about right. We'll catch some fish after this, and then we will do some declarations. It's just crazy exactly the scenario that unfolded, and I was just like, I can't believe this even happened, because I heard about the fact that this is how I discovered about Sarah Z, even in the first place. Like, I sort of vaguely knew about her existence, but not very well. But then, like, I saw some random news because for some reason I'm still subscribed to the Homestuck subreddit. I should probably unsubscribe because I haven't been following out for ages. But I guess it's just sort of like an object in motion needs a force on it to stop, and I've never applied that force. I saw a thing like a month ago where it was basically like, oh, Sarah Z is being legally threatened or something by the Homestuck team and Andrew Hussey being the original creator of Homestuck in the first place, and I was like, well, what is going on? And then, I was reading the thread, and the general consensus was just sort of like Sarah Z being unfairly sort of like treated in a lot of these sort of exchanges, kind of. And again, take all of what I say with a grain of salt, because I'm sort of paraphrasing here and just showing my interpretation of it. It's much better to get your own first-hand source if you want to even form opinions about this sort of thing. Otherwise, just sort of be here for my incessant ramblings. And I was just like, what is going on? And then I was going to go watch a video to see exactly what was going on, and when I saw it was 2 hours long, and I was like, no thanks, perhaps another time. And then, a month later, I can't remember how I got reminded of it. I think it was such a roundabout way. I think I got reminded from Drawfee, because one of our hosts on there, Karina, she drew this like Destiel thing, which if you don't know is a supernatural like ship thing, but she did it with like the Grinch and Monster, and I was like, which is incredibly cursed but incredibly hilarious at the same time. Love Drawfee, by the way. Drawfee, sorry, super fun to watch. Highly recommend giving them a watch as well. But then, yeah, and it made me think, oh yeah, well, like, what can happen with all that Destiny stuff anyway? I wonder if someone's explained it. And then I saw a video made by her, and I saw it was like, she made one about the whole Destiny scenario, which I've also watched as well, and can I just say, it's very strange. I guess I was less invested in it because I didn't really know what was going on with the whole supernatural fandom in the first place. But when I was like, oh yeah, Sarah said, why is her name familiar? Oh yeah, she made a whole was that her whole Homestuck kerfuffle about her. And I clicked on videos, and you know what? It's 11 p.m. It's perfect watch 2-hour long video time. So I watched it and I was just like, what the heck is going on? It's so crazy how embroiled these sort of drama things can come up. Even like, I mean, I guess maybe it's inevitable if you're some sort of video essayist and you're talking about like potentially not controversial so much, but you have to talk about certain individuals when you're covering things about like internet culture and strange goings on, like these sort of things. Inevitably you're going to annoy probably a couple of people, perhaps the people that you talk about themselves, because she does put a little bit of, not that much spin. She's actually mostly quite factual from what I can tell about through her research and that sort of thing. But of course there's a little bit of sauce, as always, you put on these sort of things just to make it a little bit more entertaining, which is all meant to be tongue-in-cheek and that sort of thing. But inevitably I guess someone's going to get offended over these sort of things, whether rightfully or unrightfully so. I suppose that's up for you to decide and not really my place to judge. But it's sort of thing like it's amazing what sort of drama sort of crops up from that sort of thing. Like Twitter has a lot of drama as well, like, and I tend to stand mostly out of it. I mean, it's going to be a very strange day if I ever find myself getting caught up in Twitter drama itself, because I feel like I'm so detached from everything in the first place. What am I even going to do? How am I going to get caught up in Twitter drama if I don't even tweet in the first place? The only thing I do on Twitter is I look at pretty pictures. I follow a load of artists and then just, like, you know, follow what they do. And see their drawings and that sort of thing. And it's like, it's all good fun. I'm like, yeah, woo! That's about it. It's just wild. And, you know, I got to appreciate these people doing these sort of, like, internet documentary style things, happenings on the internet they've happened recently. Like, they're not like historical documentaries or anything. They've only been in the last like decade or so. But I really got to appreciate them because they really do condense them to a very digestible way to let the viewer understand exactly what happened, what's going on. And I think most of them do a pretty good job of being rather, like, unbiased, I suppose, allowing you to draw your own conclusions about necessarily what happened and just doing the best just to present the facts as they found them, and then also putting a little bit of sauce on it just to make it a bit more entertaining, so it's not just a very long video which is a bit of a drag. So yeah, I do like watching them because I'm not going to say it makes me more learned or anything like that, because that's definitively false. This is quite useless information, I suppose, but it's sort of just like, it's interesting to learn about sort of a kerfuffle that I feel like I'm just not ignorantly but like blissfully unaware of as I use the internet and that sort of thing. Like, I use Tumblr now and used to use Tumblr before. As I say, I just look at pretty pictures and that sort of thing. That's about it. And then just like all of these fandoms and like outbursts and breakdowns and that sort of thing just going on like completely around me. I'm just like, it's not like I'm not aware that it's going on, but I just like don't see it because I just, not like I don't look out for it, but I guess I don't involve myself in those sort of things. And if I see basically like a huge text post being like someone like exposing someone, something very dramatic, I'm just like, this clearly isn't for me, so I just ignore it, I guess, which I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. I suppose it does make me quite unaware of a lot of issues, but also a lot of issues, I suppose, in these cases, you just tend to be fandoms blowing up, imploding upon themselves, and being someone who's not really involved in fandoms in the first place, it's not really my place to comment on, I suppose. I'm just here for the media property, I suppose, and to read fan theories sometimes, but that's about it. And obviously Homestuck is a very divisive fandom. In the first place, it's got not the greatest reputation, and, you know, I was well aware of that sort of thing. For some reason I always seem to fall into fandoms which have very bad reputations, you know, Homestuck, My Little Pony, Undertale. I can't really think of any more, but I'm sure there are some more. But it's like, I guess I never involved myself too much with them in the first place, so it's sort of just like I feel a weird sense of detachment from it, or like a lack of investment in it, I suppose. But yeah, I don't really know what I was saying. Did I have a point? I probably had a point. I was probably leading up to something, but I just immediately forgot what I was talking about. Yeah, I guess it's just wild just to hear about what's going on. I was like, I can't believe all of this was going on, and I was not like I was unaware. I was sort of aware stuff was going on. Like I knew there was drama around the whole video game that was being created. I didn't know exactly what was going on, but I was just like, ah, whatever. It's just having it all laid out for me. It was just very entertaining to. Not entertaining. I keep saying the word entertaining, but I don't know what's the most appropriate word to use it. It's very illuminating, I suppose, to learn about. But yeah, I like these video essays and the sort of things they do. Like obviously, I talked before how I follow like Game Maker's Toolkit. I follow. It's not Design Doc. There's a person who makes Design Doc. Wait, maybe they're Game Maker's Toolkit. I always get them confused in my head. I always say them wrong. Hold on. This is a time where you actually open up YouTube and you see them. Hold on. Design Doc? Oh, it is actually just called Design Doc. Never mind. Design Doc, Raspberry Tin, Game Maker's Toolkit, Adam Millard, New Frame Plus, extra credits sometimes. I like to follow these sort of like those are, I suppose, the ones not like I like them most, but I like them a lot because they tend to talk about video games and design and that sort of thing, which, you know, I'm very much interested in. But what was I talking about? Yeah, seeing the stuff also for other things or either was interested in or still am interested in being broken down is really cool. Like Down the Rabbit Hole, I should subscribe to them. They have such interesting videos. Let's go Down the Rabbit Hole. Sorry, Frederick Knudsen. Don't play your later. Subscribe to them. It's very entertaining. We had a very good one about fairies. You know, that's like one of their most viewed videos, and it's just very informative. What more can I say? It was super cool to watch. Internet Historian's another good one. I only really watched them for the one where they talk about the different conventions, things like DashCon, which apparently was a nightmare. Rainforest. But he also did a thing about the Shia LaBeouf and the flag or something. He's much more on the entertaining side, I'd imagine, rather than the factual. Not factual. I shouldn't say factual because it's not like internet historians lying or anything, but the informational side of that sort of thing. I suppose Harry said to someone to add to that sort of the oeuvre. The plethora, not plethora of people, but like the palette of people that you have a choice of. What do you want to watch? You know, why don't I watch something about supernatural fandom today? Why not? It's just, I don't know. It's a very sort of modern day sort of thing we got even access to, isn't it? Can you imagine explaining this? Like, I think this would be something very bizarre to even hear about it. Maybe even early 2010s or about that sort of thing. I suppose mainly because there wasn't much of a internet history to even really talk about, right? Like, how are you gonna be an internet historian talking about like culture, not cultural shifts, but like big events that happen on the internet if there's nothing to really talk about in the first place? But now I suppose the internet's been alive and well and thriving for about 20 years or something. You know, subcultures and cultures and subcultures and fandoms have formed and big events and that sort of thing have all happened. I suppose I'm just always interested in hearing about news in circles that I'm not particularly well versed in, which is why like hobby drama is such an interesting subreddit for me. I'd like if there was like a hobby news or that sort of thing, because I don't want to just hear about drama all the time, because drama doesn't really interest me as much. I want to hear about good news, like like a record-breaking breakthrough, like that time in Osu or something where someone like broke some ridiculous record that's been long-standing for ages. Like I want to hear about that. I want to hear someone break down exactly why it was a big deal, the stuff leading up to it, and that sort of thing. That's what entices me. Not necessarily the drama all the time, but you know, kind of does depend on the drama. But it's like, yeah, I always like hearing about information within fandoms and circles that I not particularly well acquainted with, that sort of thing. And I suppose that's kind of what this sort of was, except for I had the background knowledge, like I understood the media property and everything associated with it. I just wasn't aware of the drama ongoings and that sort of thing. So, even though technically I was part of a fandom, it was also someone explained to me, not like personally, like she explained to everyone, I guess, about the ongoings of the fandom, which I was technically a part of but not involved in. So I guess it scratches that same sort of similar itch. Does that make sense? I don't know. I guess it's partly, you know, I like to ramble. I ramble a lot in my brain and that sort of thing. And now I have the ability to ramble, you know, out loud and that sort of thing. I guess I like YouTubers who ramble and that sort of thing too. Apparently that's what keeps me entertained. Just rapid fire information about that sort of thing just over and over again. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. She doesn't upload all that often, but if you want to give it a watch, do give it a watch. But, who's that other girl? There's another woman who does a very similar sort of video essayist, vlog style thing, but she did it for like the My Little Pony stuff, because she was actually involved with the My Little Pony community quite extensively. Apparently she was the person who did the voices for Friendship is Witchcraft, which is a very popular like fan-made parody, I suppose, of My Little Pony way back in the day. Not way back in the day, it was probably like, I don't know, 8 years ago. I wasn't even, I should look it up, because she made like a really good one which I watched ages ago about, there was something about My Little Pony fandom. I can't really remember what exactly, but I'm sure if I search Brony fandom it'll come up. Oh yeah, the last BronyCon, a fandom autopsy. Jenny Nicholson, that's her name. I thought it was a super fun watch. Well, not, again, fun, not really the right word. It's not like I was there being like, wow, I'm having such a great time. It's just like, yeah, illuminating. I probably should stick with that word a bit more until I get copyright claimed by the people who made Minions. I guess it would be more like a trademark thing, wouldn't it? Not really a copyright claim. What am I doing in here? Why am I here? Catch fish, catch bugs. Hot item, that's not really doable. I guess catching fish and bugs might be doable on time, but I don't know. We sort of like reports and autopsies. It's going to be wild to think about, because if you think about like 30 years in the future, we're going to have like the internet for 50 years, barring like an EMP strike from the sun or something, or a nuclear apocalypse, hopefully, which neither happened. But we're going to have like 50 years of internet history. And these things are going to be like chronicled for future generations to learn about. Be like, wow, internet was such a wild place back then. I mean, even is still right now. Surely, like, 10 years in the future, people are going to do like autopsies about Twitter fandoms blowing up and probably cancel culture, but probably people have already done that sort of thing, I guess, is what's catching on. But, you know, that's sort of like, it's not really history, it's sort of like the modern present day we're living in right now, isn't it? But it's always interesting hearing about these sort of things, you know? I should probably do it for more cartoons and that sort of thing. Like, learn about it. You might ask, hey, what would you ever do like these sort of video documentary things yourself? Nah, I think I'm not really that sort of person to do this, like, not like I don't do research, hold on, that's not. But a lot of these topics, I suppose, tend to be with like interpersonal drama within like, communities and that sort of thing, which I'm not very interested in doing research into. If I were to have like these sort of documentary style things, I'd probably just do them for like actual like educational academic things, learn about, like, you know, teach myself, or not teach myself, get taught about something and then make a video about that. But of course that's much more better left to people who are the experts in that field rather than me making it. Like, it was something I actually considered ages ago, for making YouTube videos. It's like, what if I did some sort of like teaching thing about maths and that sort of thing, because, you know, I was pretty good at maths academically, still am. So what if I, you know, made very basic sort of breakdowns of like high school level maths, or like year 7 maths and that sort of thing for people to follow along to. But, you know, it's like, we got Khan Academy, you don't really need me for that sort of thing. But there's so many good resources out there in the first place. It's sort of just like, not like I need to tread on new ground to really do anything, because I mean, how many other YouTube Let's Players are on the platform, but more like there's no need. Like, at least with YouTube Let's Plays you can make an argument that no one's quite got my personality, I suppose. If I want to be like, I'm so unique. So if that's got a certain distinct appeal for some people, like my combination of my personality and my prowess in video games, or prowess, or lack thereof, perhaps. That combination's a bit unique, and you don't have that much of a spin in the educational purposes, because education-wise is like the only real purpose is not the broad strokes generally just to entertain. It's more like to actually teach someone something. And if there's already resources out there which do a good enough job, why do I need to do it as well, I suppose? And you might be like, what if you were like Taylor Swift or something super famous? If Taylor Swift like made like academic videos about maths and that sort of thing, you'd probably get a lot of people watching that sort of thing and help educate a lot of people who would normally be quite opposed, not necessarily opposed, but not so interested and wouldn't be necessarily willing to put me in an effort to go look up like a Khan Academy sort of video and that sort of thing. Like, they wouldn't be like, oh, I'm struggling in maths, I'm not going to go look at Khan Academy, but Taylor Swift, she made a video about fractions, I'm going to watch that. Like, you know? Okay, yeah, but I'm not, so it's kind of a moot point, isn't it? But a valid one, nonetheless, if I was. That's the end goal, get super popular on YouTube, become a well-known YouTuber, and then just make academic videos to encourage people to, like, learn stuff. if they're struggling at school, and hopefully, you know, help people who struggle in school and that sort of thing. I don't know. It's a bit of a long shot off, also never going to happen. So don't put your money on it. But anyway, let's round this episode off here, shall we? So if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been Dear Darling. Likes, comments, subscription, shares are greatly appreciated. Join me Dear Darling Discord. Sorry, let me face the camera. Join me Dear Darling Discord. Follow me on Twitter down below. I hope we can see each other again. But for now, ta farewell. So until next time, bye bye for now.